What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com, joined by the Talkin' the Draft crew. It is our typical Tuesday night live stream. He is Connor Livesay of bloggingtheboys.com. He is Dalton Miller of 105.3 The Fan. And as of the big news that he announced to the world last week, Pro Football Network, Dalton Miller, one of our all-time MVPs, getting started off with a bang. Dalton, congratulations to you on the new gig. Lots of hard work went into it. Very pumped for you and what you have going on over there. The one and only Cole Patterson will join us. He is running late for the live stream. So, boys, how goes it? Dalton, congrats, man. But Dalton, you are muted. So another awkward start for you, my friend, here on the live stream. We will, as we always do, we will be posting the audio here on the Blogging the Boys podcast network. That'll come out on Wednesday. And just everybody know that Dalton is really, really hating himself for messing this up once again.
I'm so tired. Oh, man. No, thank you very much. I've been working. I think I've sat at my desk for like 24 hours the past 2 days trying to get this draft guide done. So I'm struggling a bit right now. My back is on fire. If at some point like I stand up and go like horizontal, like in front of the camera, that's because like I still want to be shown, but I need to stretch my back out because things are not going well in that arena right now. Other than that, I'm great, and I'm just going to leave my microphone on from now on. I'm not going to touch it.
Well, so Dalton, the draft guide coming out. When's the big release? So we know.
Right after this, I'm going to tweet out my PayPal so y'all can buy it.
Okay, look at that. Look at Dalton, right? You didn't even tell us you're going to do that. Setting the show up nice as your entrance into the guide release. Connor Livesay, your draft guide went out last week, and you have generously been giving it away. Lots of people have been paying for it, but lots of hard work between the two of you. Connor, how does it feel to have your draft guide finally in the rearview mirror?
It's great. It always blows my mind because when I talked to Dalton like a week before the draft, he's always like, yeah, I haven't started it yet. And I'm like, Dalton, I don't understand how you're going to get it out. And then he stays up like 72 hours straight to do it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But I'm the week before and he's like, yeah, I haven't started it yet. I'm like, you must not take – yours must be a lot smoother than mine because mine takes like 2 months to put together.
Well, I'm really impressed that you guys can navigate like exporting things to PDFs. Like that's a difficult process if you don't know what you're doing. So congratulations to both of you in that capacity.
Yeah, that's what my fiance is for.
Exactly. Zachary Maldonado says, what's up, guys? Almost forgot, kind of like Dalton a little bit here, even though I just saw the notification. What's up, Zach? Hope your Tuesday night is going well. We will be participating in a fully live Dallas Cowboys mock draft. We're going to simulate it. We're waiting on Cole to arrive. He kind of ruined the whole thing, really hurting himself in the MVP consideration early on. We'll be using the Draft Network's platform. Obviously, they do a lot of great work over there. But before we get into it, while we wait for Cole, the Dallas Cowboys held their pre-draft press conference today, an annual situation of sorts. It was kind of dominated early on by Sean Lee's retirement. Connor, what did you make of the pre-draft press conference? Because it sounds like the Cowboys are supremely opposed to players with medical risks, which is something that they haven't been in the past.
Yeah, a few things stood out to me. The first thing is that Jerry Jones called opt-out guys compromised players. So that makes you really think that they're probably not going to draft at least high guys who didn't play in 2020. Maybe that's a smokescreen because it felt like there was a lot of that going on as well too. But anytime he used that word compromise to describe guys who didn't play in 2020, it really kind of, perked my ears up a little bit. And I was like, wow, like, I wonder if Caleb Farley didn't have a back injury. Like, was he compromised and, not going to be considered? Rashawn Slater, Penei Sewell, both guys didn't play in 2020. There's a lot of guys at the top of this draft who did not play in 2020 that, to Jerry Jones, like he said, are considered compromised. And then the other thing, which I'd love to get Dalton's opinion on this too, but, as much as we know about Dan Quinn and his cover 3 heavy scheme, we kind of are going into this with like, who's the guys who can succeed in that scheme to have a lot of zone experience that can play man, because they're going to mix it up a little bit. But then Mike McCarthy today came out and said they prefer guys who are more man-heavy corners. So that threw me a little curveball because I expected him maybe to prefer the guys with that zone experience, that cover 3 experience, being able to play the zone with some man mixed in. But for me, when he kind of said, yeah, we kind of prefer the guys that are more comfortable playing in that tight press man coverage, made me think either one of two things, like, are they going to mix it up more than we think? Or is Dan Quinn kind of changed his scheme up a little bit to where it's a lot more press man instead of the normal, cover 3 drop zones?
It's going to be really interesting. I think that they're actually going to switch it up a little bit, because when I went back and I watched it, I know earlier, 2018, 2019, it was mostly cover 3. There was man mixed in. Then in 2020, when Raheem Morris came in and started calling the plays defensively, there was a lot more too high stuff mixed in as well. They changed it up a little bit more. And I think that, oh man, I almost did it. I almost went with the Stephen Jones at the end of the day, because that's a crutch of mine. So I think that they will go at the end of the day with Patrick Surtain.
Dude, wow!
I can't do it. I just tried. I just brought it up and then I did it anyways. No, I think Patrick Surtain is going to be the pick. It just makes a ton of sense. He's the safest out of all of them, and I think that he's a really good compliment. Just even outside of Trayvon Diggs being his former teammate, I think that they are a perfect complement because he's super safe in the way that he plays. He plays over the top. He doesn't get beat deep. He's not that much of a ball hawk, really, but he's intelligent. And I say he's not much of a ball hawk. He's got the same ball production as J.C. Horn does. It doesn't seem like he is as aggressive when it comes to getting the ball in the air.
I think the ball skills for Horn are probably a little bit better.
Yeah, we've also seen him lose it a couple times in the lights as well. I know Grimes was one during the Florida game where that showed up, but I think he's a safer prospect overall. He's still, tested at least as an elite athlete, and I think he's going to end up being the pick if he's there.
I think that when we look at what they've done so far this offseason, which isn't a whole lot, outside of, getting the Dak deal done, I suppose, everything they've done has been the predictable thing, right? Like the moment Dan Quinn was hired, it was like, oh, they're going to be interested in Keanu Neal and DeMonte Casey. Boom, boom. You know what I mean? And so while the Dak thing did kind of shock us a little bit, the Surtain pick is super obvious in that it's safe. And, I tweeted out their history of first-round draft picks over the last decade today, and a lot of people are like, yeah, they're really good at this. And they are, I think, like when you look at that sample size in a larger sense. But if you look at like their last 5 years, they're really, outside of CeeDee, and obviously that's a really special thing. Like they took a running back in 2016. The player they took the year before that, they didn't even know how to use, although granted, that's a bigger problem than that. In 2017, Taco, 2018, Leighton, and, Stephen Jones or Dalton can say all they want about that. I don't buy it for a second they're picking up that 5th-year option because you're seeing them get picked up left and right. And Stephen's like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about it after the draft. Like, dude, I mean, nobody is this dumb to believe that is actually going to happen. And then 2019, obviously an outlier in that they didn't have a pick. So they really, like, some of these have been kind of like rolls of the dice. And Zeke was a really particular thing. Taco was, reaching for, a specific reason that's now in Vegas. And, Leighton was, we're just in love with this particular prospect. And so I do think that they have to kind of get back to like, what is the highest floor? What has the least amount of problems? And I think that's Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And that's kind of what I thought going into the conference too. It's just the comments from McCarthy were like, whoa, like, I mean, because again, like everyone wants a guy who can cover man-to-man, can like press up against guys and just kind of win that battle. But when they were like, yeah, we want aggressive dudes who can take the football away, who can lock in man-to-man coverage and play that press man coverage, like we're valuing that over, zone. I was kind of like, man, like, it kind of sounds more like J.C. Horn than maybe Patrick Surtain, but
an interesting note here from our mutual friend Robert Belt says I would pick up RJ's 5th-year option, Connor's too. So shout out to us, Connor. Not Dalton's, not because you don't know how to turn your microphone on, Dalton, but because you want to waste the Cowboys' resources on Jalen Waddle. I saw a tweet from David Hellman.
Why is that a waste? Why is that a waste?
So as soon as right before, and this is a good time to bring in Cole Patterson. Cole, how goes it? Hope your evening is going well. Thanks for joining the show. You looking nice. So
appreciate it.
Shout out to you, Cole. I'll ask you this. I saw Dave Hellman of DallasCowboys.com tweet about this, and he even said this, but a lot of people have said this. It is funny that we're like stretching, maybe not stretching, but we're talking about like all possible circumstances. Like, what if Kyle Pitts is there at 10? But nobody gives any consideration to the idea, except for, maybe Dalton, that Jalen Waddle could be there, and that pick would make a lot of sense too. You've been on that train too, though.
Yeah, I saw that tweet earlier. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I guess the argument is that Kyle Pitts is more of a matchup nightmare in the sense that he's a big tight end, a big red zone target. It's kind of a different athlete than a wide receiver per se. You kind of use him a little bit more. I guess that would be the argument, but Jalen Waddle is a matchup nightmare in his own right. I mean, he's a speed demon. He's very rarely can you find somebody that can, match up with them. I think we all agree that a nightmare scenario would be him going to like the Eagles or the Giants, somewhere in the NFC East, and having to defend against him twice a year. But no, I agree. I think that is a guy that deserves more serious consideration. There'll probably be, some groans here and there by fans who don't want another wide receiver. But if you're already excited about Kyle Pitts, I think Waddle deserves some kind of consideration as well.
All right, guys. So right before we get the simulation started, Dalton, we mentioned that Bobby Belt was not a fan of picking up your fifth-year option. Young Aristotle says, I agree. Let's wait and see how RJ and Connor turn out. Shout out again to us, Connor, before we get the big-time extension. Let's ink a long-term deal with Dalton now, though. Bonafide star. Again, the arrow's pointing up on you, Dalton Miller. Okay, guys. So it's time. This is what everybody has gathered for. Shout out to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter audience, all on the Blog on the Boys properties. Again, you can see Connor Livesay at blogontheboys.com all the time. Dalton Miller on 105.3 The Fan and Pro Football Network, where he is a GAWD, G-A-W-D, and Cole Patterson at A to Z Sports Dallas. But fellas, we are here for a live mock draft. We've been mocking it up for the last couple of weeks in our live streams, and those have all been premeditated mocks. You guys did those ahead of time. We were really calculated about it, but not here. Now we're asking you to be vulnerable. Just
chaos.
Authentically yourselves. So we're using the Draft Network simulator. So if anybody's watching or listening to the podcast after the fact on the Blog on the Boys podcast network, and you think it's impractical, blame them. Although they're great people. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we have to work with here. Who's ready to start?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Are you all ready?
Can't wait to fight with everybody.
You want to trade for the number 1 overall pick? Anybody want to do that?
100%. 100%.
Okay. And if you're watching along live, we're going to make these picks together, or rather you and our three amigos are going to make these picks together. I'm just here to hurl insults, but let's begin. So the draft has indeed begun. Connor insisted on the slow setting here, so boys, you're in for a long night. But here we go. Zach Wilson did go 2 overall. Justin Fields, apparently now the third overall pick. This is shaping up kind of interesting so far.
Oh boy,
Kyle
he's
Pitts
gonna fall to us.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
He's coming.
Okay.
He's there.
So
Wow.
Close it.
all right. This was we are live, and this is you can't fake anything on the internet, as everybody here knows. So let's discuss in order. The Cowboys have a trade offer. Does anybody want to entertain the offer from Chicago? Move back 10. Okay, well, you move back 10 picks, and you pick up pick number 52 overall. Do I have 3 no's?
No. We got 2 studs.
Okay, let's see. Let's look at Jacksonville's offer. You move back 15 spots. You pick up pick number 45 overall. Anybody interested?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Finally, let's take a look at New England's offer. You only got to move back 5 spots, but you do pick up the 96th overall pick and the 120th overall pick. Anybody interested?
I'm not.
All right. Silence is deafening. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Okay, so in order, 1 through 9, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Jamar Chase reunites with Joe Burrow, Jalen Waddle, who Dalton and Cole are big fans of, going to Miami, Patrick Surtain, the newest member of the Detroit Lions. That secondary looking pretty good, obviously with last year's drafting of Okudah. Penei Sewell to Carolina and J.C. Horn to Denver. This is a really interesting situation in that neither of the 2 corners are here. I don't know.
I think that's not.
There's a good chance
out
of that
of the
happening all of a
realm.
sudden.
And I think that if it does, it's going to leave our boy Kyle Pitts here. Because I think Kyle Pitts said it today. He thinks Atlanta's going quarterback.
Yes,
If they go quarterback,
there's also very strong whispers that if Pitts is there at 6, he will not leave the 6th pick.
with Miami, I've heard that,
Makes
but
sense.
they're just going to go pass catcher, in my opinion. I
Yeah,
can see them
it's gonna be-
valuing Waddle
it'll be
over
one
him.
of-
So
It'll
Okay,
be
guys.
one of Waddle Smith or Pitts.
Maltese Falcon says
Chase will be
KP. Chris Stops, obviously. Zachary Maldonado says take Slater. Rashawn Slater's still on the board. So the Cowboys could go offensively, in two different directions, two very different directions. And I think kind of like the CD Lamb pick last year, this is exciting because this would tell us a lot about how Will McClay and the Cowboys kind of view their team in the here and now and in the future. Let's see. Josh Wingate says scrap it, won't happen. This is live. We're being fully in this particular moment.
And again, there's a really good chance that this could
Yeah,
happen.
it could happen.
All right.
I wouldn't say really good, but
Well, no,
there's
no,
a
possibility.
It's definitely within the realm of possibility. Listen,
Yeah.
we have no idea what's going to happen on Thursday night because the NFL doesn't know what's going to happen on Thursday night because they don't know what they're doing either. How many times have we seen this?
Guys,
It's Kyle Pitts.
Micah
Yeah,
Parsons
second.
is on the board. Who want? I mean, you
Listen,
have
Jones
to
is
talk
sitting
about
there
every
too.
option.
Listen, if there's going to be anyone to defend Micah Parsons, it's probably going to be me on this podcast. He is my linebacker one. There is no way I touch him in the top 10. No way.
Yeah, you
Not
can't.
with the maturity issues that have
Yeah.
been rumored about him. Not with the stuff that went on in the Penn State locker room allegedly. There's no way I touch him.
Okay.
The only other thing we could do here if we're not taking Pitts is pull up back that trade offer to New England, try to get their second round pick from them, maybe take their 2, and maybe their 4, move back to 15, and then look at the options. But for me, for the Cowboys, I think they would be thrilled to draft Kyle Pitts here.
I don't think that
Yeah. The comments are hilarious, right? The dude who said Paris Ford Hive.
Wait. I know that. I know. Was that young Aristotle?
That was
had to have been young
That was
Aristotle.
young Aristotle.
It was. Shout out to young Aristotle here. But okay, I would personally hate a trade back here because this is it, right? Like we have found El Dorado, right? Like, and so nah, we'll come back tomorrow. Like, what the hell? Like, you can't. The biggest argument is for Rashawn Slater, obviously. And that would not be a bad pick if that ends up happening. But I think people would only hate it because it happened with Kyle Pitts on the board. If Kyle Pitts is gone and the Cowboys take Rashawn Slater, I think 100 out of 100 Cowboys fans are happy. But that's not the situation here.
I'm taking Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, you have to take out
every
Yeah,
time.
where's Bobby at? Is Bobby still in the chat? Hey, Bobby Belt, we're taking Kyle Pitts. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
John the Grace says that Jerry is cracking open a fresh bottle of Johnny Walker Blue if Pitts is there. So I have 3 Kyle Pittses here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that is a thrilled to death pick.
Can we pull up AH Mitch's comment real quick? Because that's a very good point. If we wanted to go for just need, Slater's not a bad pick. He's a great talent.
Not at all.
He can play at guard right away. Eventually, you can move him out to tackle when Tyron Smith gets hurt or if Lyle Collins can't make it for whatever reason. But I really don't like the idea of taking a guy who, he's probably going to start at left guard, but he might not.
And what did Jerry say in the pre-draft conference today? Guys who didn't play in 2020 are compromised. Like, you're talking about a guy that Jerry Jones is infatuated with still on the board who dominated in 2020 and a guy that he just called compromised in a pre-draft press conference.
I also think philosophically, this is your strength, right? Like, just lean into it, and not that the offensive line is not your strength, but I mean, like we could talk team 40 burger, team 50 burger all day long. But I mean, like Connor, I'll direct this to you. Andy Dalton with this offense with Kyle Pitts is far more functional than he was last year, which is like the best argument for him. I feel like, because you don't have Andy Dalton, you have Dak Prescott.
Yeah. I mean, I'd maybe, I don't know. Andy Dalton's Andy
Dalton. People are getting antsy. So, okay, Connor, your pick.
That's Kyle Pitts.
All right, everybody's on board with Kyle Pitts. If you're silent, then I'll take it as a.
Last thing I'm gonna say before we send in the pick is if Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn were still on the board, I would understand the argument
Yeah.
Don't. This is the CeeDee Lamb situation all over again.
Mhm.
I'm gonna wait, Connor, 1 second, because I want to ask each of you, or maybe a consensus. What is the trigger for everyone who's watching and saying, how did this happen? What was the trigger, the catalyst that made Kyle Pitts fall? Was it simply Miami taking Jalen Waddle, or was it a combination of Atlanta also taking Trey Lance? Like, what are, if you're rooting for this situation, Dalton, give me a bullet point list of what I have to root for.
Yeah, Atlanta takes a quarterback, and the Falcons take, or the
they're the same team.
Which again,
and if the Falcons are looking to trade Julio Jones, they might take an actual receiver as well.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all aboard.
Yeah,
He's gonna wear number 84 because he understands important things in the NFL. Obviously, let's see here. I made it super exciting. I clicked and it didn't happen, so we'll go ahead and do it right now. There we go. Boom, done.
There we go.
Is everybody feeling great? Let's go with, if you are watching live, give us a grade for Kyle Pitts to the Dallas Cowboys. We'll go with letters, not numbers, because they're easier. I never had letter grades in school. Like, they were always numbers. So I never understood that on television. But Connor, your grade?
A+++++.
Cole?
Yeah, A++++.
You couldn't even add another plus.
Add another plus on top of it.
Dalton?
It's an A.
We've got, let's see here. Let's get the grade graphic off for 1 second here. Just so let's take a second. Let's reset before we fully look at all of the trade offers here, and make sure that everybody is completely on board. Let's see. Joe says A++++. So I bleed blue 365, A++++. Zachary says B+ only because we're hurting on defense. Anybody agree with this? Even slightly?
I mean,
I get the
argument, but
it's the it's the CeeDee Lamb thing all over again. It's taking the best player available over, again, in this situation, Caleb Farley or Greg Newsome or Rashawn Slater. It's the same thing. Taking Kayvon Chason last year, taking Trayvon Diggs last year. Like, instead, you just take the guy who's head and shoulders better than those guys, and you figure it out later in the draft.
We have director of college scouting Chris Hall in the chat here saying B+. Our defense is still trash.
Well,
what? That goes.
Dalton.
I guess we know where we're going to go with that.
Dalton, an early contribution for tonight's MVP. That was really great.
And listen, for all the B+ defense stuff, like, we have 9 more darts to throw at the dartboard for defense here.
Keep it rolling.
I think
we can come back in.
This is a great argument, though, from G Living Good. Lots of plus. I can't count that many in this moment, but one of 2 generational players. I don't care what position you play. If you're getting a bronze bust and a gold jacket someday, it's an A,000+, whatever you want to call it. So, sure. Okay, cool. Let's head on over to our offer for pick number 44 overall. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team that has come calling, offering the 24th overall pick. They are offering their 24th overall pick for picks number 44 and 75. Anybody interested here?
I'm not. I don't think so.
Nobody's. Connor, you were the one saying we'll come back.
Yeah, but Newsome and Farley went, so your top 4 cornerbacks are gone. I think you can have a good one fall to you here at 44. So let's go ahead and sit and wait. Maybe in the low 30s we'll get an option where we still keep our 3rd round pick to move up, but we'll see what happens.
I'm probably gonna have my CB5 fall to 75.
Ifatu.
Connor, we are on the internet, but we're all good. So respect on the enthusiasm. Appreciate it. Connor, also in the running for tonight's MVP. Here's the only thing I'll say to this. If in the time of the last 13 picks, the Cowboys have traded Michael Gallup for a 2nd round pick, I'm not supremely against this. If there are guys there, but I would trade Michael Gallup in that moment. I don't know if anybody else would. It's just, just fodder.
Yeah, right after we draft Rondell Moore 44, we'll get on the phone and
David Gallup.
Okay. So we're saying no. Let's keep going. Do you want to see where things are at, by the way? Oh, well, wait. Sorry.
The Cowboys might do it to go up and get Zaven Collins because I know that they love him, but I would not.
Ugh. Just punch me right in the gut.
By the way, Mac Jones went to Chicago. If anybody is curious, so the Ravens are offering the pick that they took from the Kansas City Chiefs. Not quite as expensive. If you're curious, if you really love a 5th-year option, this is your chance.
Yeah.
And what pick are we giving up?
Yeah, I can't see it.
What?
44 and 115.
Let's look. Let's see who's on the board here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you want to go back, Dalton, and see what happened in the immediate aftermath? Because I saw we had a comment. It is far too far back up now, so apologies. But whoops, that's my bad. So we're not taking that trade offer. But we have another, so it's all good. It's all good. This is what happens when you're live. But Atlanta is offering their 2nd-round pick, 35 overall. If you want to go up 9 spots, I don't think anybody is that desperate to.
I think I'm probably good.
Let's see who's on the board. What is it? 44 and 179? Is that what it is?
I mean, yeah, that's the offer.
That's once. I don't care about 179.
Yeah, it's worth at least looking who's available.
So I would like to see who is on the board.
So just RJ, just click that X, and then we can always. Or you can click hide.
We're here now. This was all right. Here you go, Dalton. Here's your board.
All right.
Got Davis.
You guys can talk your thoughts out. That's the
Davis is Davis is on the board. What do we have at safety?
At safety, I've got you, Dalton, right here. This is the trick with navigating 2 computers live is my left hand has suddenly become far more dependent, or I've become more dependent on it than I usually am, which is difficult.
Richie Grant at 71 there. I kind of want to wait to see what happens, but I would take Richie Grant here. In a trade-up situation, I mean, he'll be there at 44 most likely, so we don't have to.
And again, like I think Richie Grant might be the case this year, where like a lot of Cowboys Nation loves a player, but there's been people who I see in the league who has a 1st-round grade on him, and then there's people who say he's too small and not athletic enough to really get drafted. Like he's got the Ardarius Washington tag on him. So I just don't know if he's a player that we're overvaluing too much as Cowboys fans or what. So I think he's a guy we can get at 44, or you might be able to draft a player at 44 and then trade up from 75 to get him even, right there at 50.
Yeah, it looks like there's a good amount of options still available. I mean, you don't have to wait too much longer to 44. If you're getting started to get wiped out a little bit, I think it would be a little bit better of an option to trade up, but I don't think we're in that situation right here.
So this is what I was trying to do before I completely botched our earlier trade offer. That's my bad. Again, blame my left hand. I wanted to highlight New York walked away with Devontae Smith, so not ideal. However, and again, I saw a comment a moment ago, but now I've really lost it. Philadelphia with the 12th overall pick to Caleb Farley, which is
that's not realistic at this point.
Yeah,
I know, but I think that's the reason I think that's important to note right now is when the Cowboys were on the clock, when we were on the clock for them, obviously both Surtain and Horn were gone. So you've got to pay that price for Caleb Farley, or you've got to make your peace. And in this, in our case, making peace was drafting Kyle Pitts. You know what I mean? But
you don't think that's realistic, Dalton?
12? No.
I think he goes in the top 20 still with all the back stuff.
Really? Even after that article today?
I don't, but I don't think that matters right now either. I mean, what corners are around right now?
Okay, Connor. Dalton, my bad. Let's see.
It stinks that JOK went 34th because I would.
Yeah, he was on the board in our trade fiasco. But look, everybody, you got Kyle Pitts. So I mean, look, it is what it is. But here are your corners on the board for you, Dalton.
Robinson, Samuel.
I can wait.
I say we sit there and wait, and
everybody wants to wait.
The guy I want to pick at 44 is.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. All right, we're all ready to resume. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
we're back.
Yeah.
We decline. No, thank you, Atlanta Falcons. This time we mean to decline. We don't mean to hide it for the time being. So apologies to everybody for declining the trade back into the 1st round. Look, again, when you're live. All right, we have another offer. All right. Carolina wants you to come up 5 spots. All you got to give up is 227.
I mean, I would do that just to make sure I get my guy, but.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about the 227.
Does anybody want to do this? This is your mock. We are live.
No, I say we just sit and wait. We got too many.
one vote.
Let's just sit and wait.
We got too many players
right.
still available.
We're sitting. All right, here we go. Almost there. Everybody get pumped.
Woo, pumped.
This is, Davis Mills, a Denver Bronco. Congratulations to him.
There's my guy, Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore. We're off the board.
All right. Do you want to move out? Do you want to move
No.
back 2 picks and pick up a 7th round pick?
No, we're standing here and picking.
All right, then let's not even waste time. Let's take a look at the board. Anybody want a running back?
Jamin Davis, just the pick before, kind of hurt my heart. I think we got to go corner here, though.
See, if it was Miami that offered, right? That was what we happened a moment ago?
Carolina.
No, but before Carolina, it was Miami that offered.
Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
It was Atlanta, yeah.
The Christian Barmore loss also hurts, although you mentioned the article about Caleb Farley today, Cole Patterson, the internet not being very kind to Christian Barmore either. But I think that's a name that people look at and say, like, oh, man. Still, though, what do you guys want to do? Dalton, you're up first.
I think I would like to take a corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corner I really like is still on the board.
Cole.
No, I'm with Dalton. I think you take a corner as well. I do know who Dalton and Connor want to take, and I'm on board with that as well.
Okay, Connor, make the pick for the 3 of you then. Since you guys are in such lockstep, these guys, they know each other. I mean, you think you know people, but they know each other because they do a podcast every week on the Blog of the Boys Podcast Network. So make sure you listen to their beautiful voices. Connor, give it to us in your most beautiful voice possible.
Ifatu Melifonwu.
Everybody on board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dalton. All right.
Absolutely.
Makes too much sense. Like what we talked about McCarthy and the schemes, like he can play zone, he can play man, he's long, he's physical, athletic.
Yeah.
Like he fits every prototype you would want in a corner.
Let's get let's get grades for the pick. Dalton, you are up first. We're going in ascending order. You're at the bottom of the chat.
Wow. Chris Hall doesn't like Ifatu Melifonwu either.
It all makes sense now. We've had these bad years of drafting.
These are letter grades, but Joe Saviano simply says, okay. Dalton, let's get your letter grade for what the Cowboys did here.
I mean, he's my 5th ranked corner, and he's got a high 2nd round grade for me.
The question is a letter grade.
Oh, I hate the letter grade. So, Bob, B+.
B+. Cole.
Just the grade, the draft itself, or just the Ifatu pick?
Just the Ifatu pick.
Yeah, I'll go with B+ as well.
Connor.
You got 2 first-round players on my board, so A+ for me.
We have nothing but actually G Living Good offers B-. So you guys not popular. Not living good, according to G Living Good. Zachary says, I'll take that B. You know what, though? If you're walking away with a B pick, I mean, they're not all going to be A's. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean.
Also, like I said, you got my number 2 overall player at 10 and my number 19 overall player at 44. So I'm just loving life right now.
For anybody who has joined us late, we are participating in a live simulation using the Draft Network's particular setup here on the Blog and the Boys podcast. We're streaming this live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. These guys haven't connected with one another in terms of what they're going to do before this. It is all live. It is all real. It is all honest and brutal. The Cowboys took Kyle Pitts with the 10th overall pick. So obviously they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. But LA wants you guys to come up. Anybody interested in moving up?
Is Richie Grant still on the board?
Would you like to see?
I would.
Yeah.
Because if he is, I want to come up and draft him.
All right. Let's see here. Again, my left hand is not the most reliable thing at this moment here. Let's see here. Again, the left hand. I'm particularly. Here you go, Connor. Here you go. Richie Grant still on the board.
This is a no-brainer for me. I'd trade. I
think he's worth moving up for. Yeah.
Yep.
Dalton, you've been silent.
Yeah.
What was
I don't have anything else to say. Yeah.
What was the offer?
Here you go. This is your offer. You're giving up 115 and obviously 75 to move up to 57.
See if they'll take 138 instead of 115.
Okay.
We got a counter.
You're all good. Everybody's here.
Counter it.
Offer acceptance is very likely.
Yeah, I mean,
do it.
they're hurting for picks.
Nobody move. There you go, Connor. You did it. All right. Well done. All right. So the Cowboys are on the clock once again. For anybody who joined us late, the Cowboys have addressed the secondary. They have addressed their super awesome offense, obviously. So who wants to take Richie Grant? Anybody in this room?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the guy you move up for, yeah. I don't think there's any disagreements.
Avery says Connor for MVP. Connor, you did execute this. This was all you. You said, let's do it. You orchestrated what we offered.
Hey, I get traded a lower pick, too. I mean, Chris Hall's in here, you know. Chris, give me a shout, bud. We can really turn this thing around.
So before we turn in the card, let's get this question up from Sarcastro. Is this what you guys want, mock, or what you think the team will do, mock? Now, to be clear, these guys are mocking in terms of what is best for the Cowboys, which is obviously an injection of their own personal flair. However, you know, there is obviously a gigantic sense of realism involved here. Connor, how practical do you think this is before we draft Richie Grant?
I mean, I do. I think leading up to the Senior Bowl, Richie Grant was a 3rd round pick. Like, nobody was really like super heavy on Richie Grant. I know Dalton really liked him, but I was even like, yeah, I see him like maybe as a late 2, early 3. And then he went to the Senior Bowl, had a great week at the Senior Bowl, and it was 1st round. And then the Senior Bowl got into the rear view, and then it went kind of like he started to drop back down a little bit, and he didn't test very well. He's not the biggest dude. He's not the best run defender. Like, he's kind of that natural free safety position. And we've seen for years the Taylor Rapps, the Juan Thornhills. We've seen those guys. How many years have we been sitting in the 2nd round and been like, the safeties are all going to be gone, and then they're all there and you pass on them and they, you know, the Chiefs get them or the Rams get them. So like, while I think Richie Grant should go at the top 50, like drafting him at 57 isn't like something super unrealistic for me.
Dalton.
I mean, I love this pick, obviously, and we need, like, for me, we've got now my number 4 overall player, a top 30 player, and Richie Grant is the top 30 player as well. And I don't care what assets I would have given up 115 in a heartbeat here.
Right, me too.
If I'm getting the guy that I think is going to be starting for my football team as the single high free safety. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing this literally 100 times out of 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have some questions, by the way, when it comes to Kyle Pitts. Both Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn were off the board. Detroit took Patrick Surtain, and somebody refresh me.
Denver took J.C. Horn.
Denver took J.C. Horn. All right. So we're ready to do this here.
Yeah.
All right. Done.
There we go.
Everybody feel good about themselves? Let's get a grade here. Anybody who's watching, a letter grade for the selection of Richie Grant with the Cowboys' 3rd pick. Granted, they had to trade up. Dalton, your letter grade.
That was an A+.
Cole.
Yeah, A+ at 57.
Connor.
Can't complain.
I said A+ last time, so A++.
You guys are really good at this. Chris Hall, everybody's curious. I do like the Richie Grant. Way to go, everybody.
Hey,
Chris
maybe the
Hall
Cowboys.
is pumped.
Hey, maybe the Cowboys will draft Richie Grant now that we know that he likes him.
Travis Nelson says this is a dream scenario. The Cowboys have addressed their secondary with 2 of their first 3 picks. Again, granted, some movement has happened here, and they have Kyle Pitts. I don't know how anybody is upset if this really happens.
Can we pause the draft real quick, RJ?
Sure, we can. Here we go. Okay.
Kind of want to look at these defensive linemen because this is kind of a hot range, and I want to. That's like that and linebacker. I'd like to take a look before we get too far down the board.
Okay, so the range that we're talking about here for the podcast audience that can't see Dalton's beautiful mustache is we are currently at the 79th overall pick. So just so that everybody is aware of where we're at. So, Connor, what do you want to see first?
I'd like to see if Tommy Togiai, the Ohio State defensive tackle, is still available.
Let's see.
He would be at the top of that list.
Would he be at the top of that list?
He went to Tampa Bay with the last pick in the 2nd round.
Would he be at the top of that list? Because look who's sitting there at 111 right now.
I know. Hey, I don't.
Yeah.
You know who else I really like? Marlon Tuipulotu. You know who else I really like? Jay Tufele. There's a bunch of defensive tackles I like in this range.
Yep. This is the range for me to draft a defense. I mean, 75 if they don't move up, and then 99 they're going to add a defensive tackle. I would bet.
You have to.
But let's take a look at the linebackers real quick before we
Mhm.
There you go.
There's 3 there that I like.
Who are their names, Dalton? We need names.
Surratt, the linebacker from North Carolina. Cameron McGrone, somebody who hasn't played a bunch from Michigan, but has a ton of upside. And then Dylan Moses, somebody who could probably benefit from a red shirt year anyways, after the past year Alabama was not great.
If anybody's curious for Chris Hall's opinion, he has offered it.
Me and Chris Hall just see completely differently about all of these players, except for Richie Grant, because I'll tell you what, Milton Williams is not a good football player right now.
It's Tristan Hill 2.0.
He is a freak. Yeah. Listen, he is a freak athlete. He is not a good football player.
Okay. That was harsh. Got it.
Sometimes you have to be, because like I don't want to like sugarcoat it when like I wouldn't touch the guy until the 5th round.
Dalton,
and that's literally just based off his athleticism. I watched him play lower levels of competition and not dominate more than 5 reps in the 4 games I watched of him. He's just an athlete right now.
Dalton, Joseph Osai still available.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I know. I just saw that. I'm freaking out.
He's another one that I just
is he worth moving up for?
I have no clue where he's going to. Like, I could see him going to Baltimore like we pick him to. I could see him getting drafted 3rd round. So I have no clue where he's going to go.
Are you tempted to move up again?
I mean, I would for Joseph Osai.
Here's the thing. It's like I would move up for Joseph Osai. I would move up for Aleem. Like, I'd move up for a couple of people, but then we're starting to get rid of some of these picks that we have. And do we have the ammo to move up? We have 115 right now. I mean, what is it going? Or we have 99 and 115. Are we willing to?
Yeah, we got 99 and 115.
Yeah,
we traded 138.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Are we willing to get rid of what will probably be both of those picks to move up to 79? Because I think in this exercise, we're going to have guys at 99 and guys at 115 that we really like.
I think there's a chance that Liam could still be there at 99.
I want to say this.
There's a chance he could be there at 115.
I want to say this. I don't think the Cowboys have any interest in drafting Aleem McNeil.
No, neither do I, but we're doing what's good for the team, not what's good
for we're trying to at least.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
They're not going to trade up back into the 2nd round for a free safety, Connor. We're doing this to better the football team, so that we can look back on this next year, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, and say they should have done what we should have done.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is a clout mock. All right, perfect. Yeah.
Dalton is trying to establish receipts into the future. So well done. All right, so we're all we're all in agreement to kind of actually. You know what? Before we move on. We'll let all the people who are watching live decide. It sounds like these guys are split. I mean, everybody wants to come up for somebody. If you're watching live, do you want to trade up or do you want to pass? You have 30 seconds to respond, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Dalton, what do you think the people are going to say? I think they're going to want to trade up, as Dalton has now stood up. Wow. So
what's going on?
Dalton, what do you think people will say?
I would say probably trade up for Osai because he's probably worth it. But it looks like
a lot of passes.
Mitch agrees with you.
I don't see the Cowboys trading up in the 2nd and the 3rd round. So if we do want to add some sort of realistic, possibility of this, I say we kind of just sit and let it play.
But
I would
also realistically, with 10 picks, they have the freedom to if they want.
Right. They do. It's just,
and they should. They shouldn't pick 10 times.
No, I don't think so.
They shouldn't. But also, I have to point this out as well. There's no year that we have less information about these guys than in this draft. So staying and kind of picking as many guys as you can might be the better way to go.
I'd be tempted to move up for Osai, but I think there is going to be a good
I would definitely.
I'm running that draft room. We're trading everything and going to get him.
I think this is worth mentioning from Mike Jones. Pass, they already got Pitts. I think that could almost like spook them back. You know what I mean? Like they could. You ever go to Vegas and like bet big on one bet and you're like, I'm done. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just here to have a good time the rest of the weekend. Like I could very easily see them kind of operating that way. So it is what it is. DeLunatic, by the way, says if Dalton stands, that means we trade up. So I guess you have to sit down now, Dalton. But okay, we're moving on. Most people wanted to pass, so that is what we have done. Things are back in motion. I'm sure that there will be somebody who is available with the next pick that you guys are going to argue about and feel great about. Ultimately, again, it's you should feel great already. Like there's no reason that you shouldn't feel pumped if the Cowboys draft is going this way.
I mean, if Joseph Osai falls in 99, I'm just going to punch my computer screen as hard as I can.
That would not be wise.
We're getting really close.
No,
oh, there he goes.
Oh, man. There he goes.
Punch your computer screen so we can get you to get it.
Yeah, we do need it.
That is very true.
Okay. Do you want to come up 6 spots and give up 227 to do so? The Bills are curious.
Who's on the board?
He's available.
You guys are so needy to just know every single
Marvin
thing.
Wilson just went to answer Tristan's question.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I know you are.
Everybody.
Oh, no, that was Milton Williams. Sorry.
Kellen Mond's still there. I mean, just so we're saying all out, he was on 105.3 The Fan, Dalton. I mean, no big deal.
He was. Yes, he was.
So
Fancy masterpiece.
Anybody really feel inclined?
Right, B tackles are available.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a look at
Cole,
those.
if you ask any question, I will answer it to the best of my ability.
I'd be tempted to move up for Marlon here. Last defensive tackle on the board. That I think makes it like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only giving up to
Money Profits agrees with you guys. So I mean, there's a lot of financial wherewithal there, obviously.
I think if you only have to give up 99 and a 7th round pick to move up a couple spots, I don't see why you don't do that if there's a guy you really like. Especially if you're not sure.
6th round pick.
6th round pick. My fault.
Will they take the 7th?
Premise.
I like 3 defensive tackles here.
Yeah, I see what you said.
9 spots. Yeah, it's 6 spots. I don't.
I'm gonna be bummed if Marlon goes, but I can live with it.
All right.
Salim is better.
I know. They're not gonna draft him. I know. I don't either, but I'm just saying.
All right. So we're all in Money Profits again, commanding you guys. Do it. Everybody cool. We're gonna resume the draft. This blood is on your hands.
Yeah, we can resume it.
Okay. It's on Cole's.
Oh, we got another one. Decline.
Now they want the 7th round pick.
Nah,
they themselves have bartered.
I mean, I'd personally be tempted, but
we're out. We're out. Sorry. Here we go. Hold your breath. Man, Buffalo is just really desperate at this point. We've made our points. Oh, sorry. Same color scheme. The screen's really tiny. Here we go. Hold your breath.
Oh, would you look at that?
Did he make
They're
it?
all going to be there.
Did he make it?
Let's
see here.
Well, get out Vegas my face, Oakland or Las Vegas, wherever you're living right now.
Marlon's still there.
He is still there.
That's the pick, baby.
They're all there.
We get our 1 tech. We get our nose tackle.
Everybody happy here. Everybody feel peace.
He's not a 1 tech, but
he would probably play it here. Yeah.
So what do you guys want? You want to take a look at anything else?
3 tech.
I don't think so. I mean, what linebackers are available, but I'd go with Marlon here.
Okay. Yeah. For the purposes of full transparency.
I mean, I think you just go with Marlon.
I'd go Marlon. So, I'd consider McGrone, but I'd go Marlon, and we'd be really hoping one of those linebacker falls to 115.
Yeah. So for what it's worth, Money Profits are screaming at you guys. Do it, all caps, lots of exclamation points. Really calmed down now. Like all lowercase. Wow, nice. Wow, nice. just a deep breath from Money Profits.
That is exactly how I would be if I was ever in a draft room. I'd be like, trade the pick. And then he'd get there and I'd be like, nice, guys, good job. Way to just hang in there.
Okay, everybody down.
Yeah.
Everybody's down. Okay, cool. 3, 2, almost clicked the wrong name. Here we go. Grade the pick, everybody. Connor.
I'd say a B plus.
Did you say A B plus or B plus?
A B plus. So
okay, so B plus. Cole.
This is straight B.
Dalton.
It's an F. We didn't
He
pick
wanted
the better
McNeil.
player. We didn't pick the better player. Not
Why?
only the better player, but the better player for the position that we need him to play.
Explain your point though. Like fully flesh your point out. Someone's never listened to you before.
Absolutely.
Defend your take.
Aleem McNeil is a truly freaky, athletic, one technique defensive tackle, 6'1", 315. He's got the adequate arm length to play the position. He's strong as an ox. He will get into a single gap and he will eat that gap. Okay. Marlon is, a little bit more of a, 3 technique that they're going to move and play the one. And we know, they haven't talked to Aleem McNeil. The Cowboys haven't.
Never.
Connor and I talked to him. But they've drafted guys that they don't talk to much before. And they might do it again there. They might just not think that he's going to be there in the range that they're taking a defensive tackle. I don't know. But in my opinion, he is the far better player. And I mean, I'm just going to go off of what my personal board is. Aleem McNeil is number 33 on my board, and Marlon is number 65. So it's still a great pick for where we did it. But that's a huge discrepancy on my board between the two guys that we picked.
Couldn't agree more. He's a 36 overall player on my board. I love Aleem McNeil.
I know. And that's why I'm so mad at you for making us do
Dude,
this.
I just, again, like.
I get the realistic aspect to it. But
yeah, like we could have drafted Kyle Pitts. We could have drafted Rondale Moore, 44. We could have just went balls to the walls. But
like at some point we do need defense. Like I love Rondale Moore too, but
right.
Huge Rondale fan.
But like I said, if it comes down to like if we took totally out what we think the Cowboys would do, it would have been Aleem McNeil at 75. I just would have sat there at 75. It would have been Aleem McNeil at 44. But just trying to read some of the tea leaves, and again, like I hate to sit here and give away too much information, but I talked to him the other day. Still zero contact with the Cowboys. Not an agent has reached. I mean, they haven't reached out to an agent, a scout, a coach. Zero conversations with the Cowboys at all. Like they didn't reach out to him last year. So it's just hard for me to imagine like them drafting him when you don't even touch base with the guy or his agent. But
there was a lot of therapy that happened here. Dalton fittingly not on a couch, but in front of a couch. I mean, just, it's
Aleem McNeil is not a base defensive player only. He was asked to play as a true zero tech, 2 gapping,
Dalton,
1 technique, and he
gotta let it go.
rush the passer. I'm just answering the question that is in the chat.
I don't think that wasn't a question, bro. He was telling us straight up.
It was a statement.
I was telling him he was wrong.
It's okay. Let's revisit the Cowboys haul so far here. Headlined by Kyle Pitts, obviously. A lot of people make the point, I think in just a general sense, if the Cowboys take Kyle Pitts, literally every pick after that has to be on the defensive side of the ball. You guys have accomplished this. Outside of Kyle Pitts, Dalton, we know that it is not Marlon, but who is your favorite pick that you have made so far?
Richie Grant, just because of the value compared to my board.
Cole.
It's got to be Kyle Pitts, right?
Outside of Kyle Pitts.
Outside Kyle Pitts. Then yeah, Richie Grant.
Connor.
Probably be Fatu for me because he's my 19th overall player. We got him at 44. I'm terrible at math, so I can't do that in my head that quick.
25 spots.
Yeah, so it would be Fatu because Richie Grant, I think, is my 37th. So
okay. Everybody ready to get back? Everybody's good.
My linebacker just went.
That's true. Yeah, you had Cameron McGrone in a different mock draft that we did here on the channel. Again, for everybody who's joining us late, I don't know why you wouldn't have been on time, but we are going through a live simulation to pull off a Dallas Cowboys mock draft. Again, the Cowboys got Kyle Pitts here. He is Dalton Miller from 105.3 The Fan, Pro Football Network. Cole Patterson, A to Z Sports Dallas. He is Connor Livesay from bloggingtheboys.com. You can hear all of them together in perfect harmony on the Talk of the Draft podcast on the Blogging the Boys podcast network. Let's keep going. Everybody's calm. We're all good. Nobody's mad. Everything's
Day Lunatic's question. Just to answer that real quick, we talked about it a little bit, but safeties are tough to project. Like Juan Thornhill out of Virginia a couple of years ago was a freak athlete. He had elite ball skills, elite turnover production, and he fell until the end of the second round. So like it's such a hard position to project and know when those guys are going to go. And Grant isn't a big physical guy. Like, he's physical, but he's not big. So, like, there's questions if his durability will hold up. And then he didn't test overly well. So you don't have the elite athleticism and you don't have the elite size, length for that position. So while I would take him in the mid-30s, 44, I think there's a chance that the NFL is going to sleep on him like they did Juan Thornhill and Taylor Rapp and all those guys a few years ago.
Okay, well said. Baltimore wants to know if you're interested, Connor.
No.
Cool.
No, I think you just stay put.
Dalton.
No, sir.
All right, let's keep going. That was a really, we grew as a family there. You know what I mean? Like, that was an intense moment, but we're all good. We're all fine now together.
We're hunting linebackers right now. I know that much.
Do you want to come up 7 spots, I believe?
I don't think it's
what linebackers are there, real quick?
You guys are so needy.
Sorry.
I mean, just unbelievably needy. Although my left hand is, I'm gaining more trust in it. So ultimately, this is a nice exercise. Here you go. Joshua Parker asked us to pause, by the way. We'll do anything that Joshua Parker says.
See, I think this is you got 1, 2, 7 spots. I think we wait. We see if we should keep it on linebackers. If another linebacker goes, we consider moving up for Dylan Moses.
Okay.
That'd be
everybody agree?
What if the linebacker goes is Dylan Moses? Well, then what do we do?
Then we draft our boy Barnes out of Purdue, and we feel happy that he's there.
Money Profits, who has calmed down himself, says, does Moses fit our scheme?
Derek Barnes, the edge rusher?
He can play with some Sam and a little bit. He's fine. I like Derek Barnes.
You guys don't sound overly enthused about trading up. We're going to keep going.
I think Moses is going to make it.
Here you go, Connor. Let's see. Are you really that confident? Are you really that confident?
There we go. Wait, what happened there?
Whoa. I don't
know what happened there.
Victor DiMacchigi.
I don't know what happened there. What happened here? The simulator.
Okay.
Did you just skipped over the somehow?
No. I
that
don't know
is supposed to be that. We'll just write that in as Dylan Moses because I didn't see.
Whoa! Hold on, because I think we need to go back to defensive tackle and see if he's still there.
Lee McNeil.
We can. We can if you want, Dalton. Hey.
So, okay, you drafted your 3 technique. Now we get our 1 technique as well. No, it's okay. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's okay. It's okay.
On the topic of Moses, is there any concerns with his injury history? I know, like, the Cowboys have a bad track record.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would y'all be concerned with taking another injured linebacker? I know he's very talented, but me personally, bad memories with Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, guys who entered the draft with injury histories.
Those aren't memories. That's real life.
I'm talking about the time of the draft. Moses would that make you pause a little bit? And if 100%. So, who else would you consider in that same spot?
In the 4th round, I'm just trying to take talent. You got to swing.
You think he's worth the risk?
I know he's head, shoulders, knees, and toes injured, but you gotta take a swing on.
Oh, he's definitely talented.
Ability that you have.
Sure, like if y'all would be a little bit worried.
So the Lunatic says injured players. That's right up Dallas's alley. Cole, to your point, the Cowboys have not been shy about embracing risk before, but we were talking when you were late about the Cowboys pre-draft press conference today, and Jerry Jones specifically said, that, or at least intimated heavily that the Cowboys are far more risk averse when it comes to medical situations this particular year. He said that, he felt kind of behind the 8 ball when it came to that side of the draft this year. I do think that this is, if there's a year they deviate from that, it might be this year in 2021.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like with Moses, like Dalton said, like you are concerned about it, but I just think the reason he's there in the 4th is because he didn't play all that well in 2020 because of the injury. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of like taking the reward with the risk and hoping that he gets back to health. And it's kind of the Sean Lee deal. Like the only reason he was there to stick it around is because of the injury. He obviously didn't stay as healthy as you wanted him to. And Dylan Moses might be the same way. But if you could get Sean Lee's career out of Dylan Moses for 5-6 years, you're like, cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Moses at Alabama.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like him being the linebacker and linebacker being the position that we've had like so much history of injuries with.
Yeah,
That would make me a little gun shy. But
Hey,
as far as talent goes, I'm with you all the way.
KJ Wright's still out there.
well, that's
a fair point.
That's something that we should bring up. Like, why don't we try to trade some of these picks for established players?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you're taking a swing on either a high upside guy, a medical red flag guy, an off the field guy. Like, there's nobody in round 4, guys. I know that we like to lie to you and tell you that there is. Nobody is anywhere close to a sure thing at this point. Not a one, unless somehow a Lee McNeil is there. Actually, one technique defensive tackle is a spot where you can draft late and get starters.
You're fully
Other than that, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
It's all luck
right.
at that point.
So we unfortunately auto drafted. Shout out to the incredible software. If the auto draft happened to you in real life, Connor, how would you feel about Victor?
Not very happy.
Okay.
I hate to say that because he was one of the first guys we had on our podcast. Like, super cool dude.
Yeah. The name right after I'd like.
Who was it right after?
Cam Sample.
Oh, yeah, dude. Love Cameron Sample. So, like, let's say the auto draft happened and it was Cameron Sample instead of Moses. I'd be like, sweet. Time ran out and the mock draft, the NFL fantasy football draft just drafted me. Great player. So I'd be pumped on that one. But yeah, I mean, no on DKG for sure.
Okay, let's get back. We're resuming. Hopefully the auto draft was a one-time thing here. Not exactly. There goes Lee McNeil, Dalton, to Minnesota. Cowboys visit Minnesota this year. There you go. You get to see him once.
Again, Lee McNeil is like my pizza party player this year. Like, if they get him at 99, if they get him at 115, we're throwing a party.
He went at 119 for what it's worth. I mean,
yeah, that's a pizza party. Jeff Kavanaugh pizza party player for me.
Money Profits telling us to all be careful. Just a little.
Hey, highly productive player at Duke, man. Highly productive player at Duke. That guy can sack the quarterback.
So, auto draft aside, Dalton, how are you feeling?
There goes Dylan Moses again for the third time this draft.
auto draft aside, I'm doing well. It's,
cool.
You want a letter grade? We're always doing letter.
No, not letter grade. I want if your mood was a soft drink, what would it be?
Oh, I'm in Texas, so there's only one way to answer this. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's trash. I don't know why people like it. It's too syrupy, dude. Like, it's way too syrupy.
Oh my God, you guys are lunatics.
I also just don't drink soda, so
yeah, I'm not a big soda.
You say grapes? Oh,
I don't drink
grape soda's not bad. You get a nice.
Did you say grape soda or not a big soda guy?
I'm not a big soda guy.
Oh, I thought you said grape soda too.
I'll destroy an orange Fanta, but
I mean,
not much else.
Orange Fanta's good too.
But
Danny's comment is my favorite comment right now.
Thanks, Danny.
Yes. Okay. I'm being a lot more watchful here because I'm nervous that we're gonna get auto drafted again. Okay. You have an offer from the Tennessee Titans.
No, we don't trade this late in the draft.
Nobody's down. Nobody feels good about moving up 13 spots.
I mean, who would you be trading up for?
Yeah, who's there? We got to look at the board.
Is there anybody worth moving up for?
Okay, so to be clear, they are asking for let's see, for 192. But they're also sending back 205. So I mean,
that's a good little swap.
Yeah. What receivers are around?
Okay.
Damn, my corner Ambry Thomas just won. I really like him.
Ambry Thomas at 164. Oh my gosh.
Here you go, Connor.
Newsome.
Josh Palmer is really good at football.
Palmer, yeah.
They just literally could not. Oh, also Simi.
You got Darden still on the board.
By the way,
Hoku was awesome too.
Cornell Powell.
Money Profits wants to see the entire board, so we are a show of the people. So just so we're aware.
Well, I like Rashad Weaver here.
Yeah, Weaver Golson, I'd be happy with.
Yeah, I'm also.
Do you want to trade?
Corey Vincent.
I think it's
but-
worth taking that trade. I mean, because you're
Yeah,
getting,
who would
you're getting
who would you
205
trading
as
for?
well.
Who are you
I
trading
think-
for, Cole?
It was edge rusher.
I mean, I think there's enough good players on the board to make that decision after you trade. You're not really cornered in a decision to, force a pick. I think there's enough good guys at different positions.
Dalton,
Me personally,
question
I
for
look at receiver, but I mean, I like Weaver as well.
Cole. Can Daz play special teams? And then Dalton, can Daz play special teams? And then Connor, can Daz play special teams?
I just want Daz on the roster personally. Put him anywhere. I think he's a
Dalton.
really good football player.
So he tested really poorly. Let me get and see if I can find anything on special teams for him.
Now Schwartz makes a ton of sense, and
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy
Schwartz does make a ton of
said
sense.
in the pre-draft
That's
press
the time to
conference
draft.
that he wants speed on the offense, and Schwartz brings
He
you
fits that. He fits that
speed
to
on
it
the
too.
offense.
Yeah. I think he ran like under a
It was like a
sub 10 100
4.25.
meters.
Yeah, it was like a 4.26 or something like
For-
that.
He ran like a sub 10 or 10-second 100 meter in
Yeah.
high school. It's
Yep.
insane.
Okay, so first question you guys have to answer is: do you want to trade?
Yeah,
I would trade up for
think
Schwartz here.
especially getting a 205 as well. I don't think there's any.
I think that's
downside to it.
that's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Everybody's down. So you're moving up, to be clear here, 13 spots, and then moving back 13 spots. Pretty even
Yeah.
swap.
I like it.
Everybody's down.
That's
Yep.
a
Dude.
day 3 trade too. Like that's what the day 3 trades look like a lot. You're swapping picks. And
For those
Yeah.
who are watching live, you have the offer on your screen, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Yes or no, do you take this offer on behalf of the Dallas Cowboys? Connor is a yes. Cole is a yes. Dalton is a yes. I imagine that most people are a yes. A.H. Mitch, a little bit calm. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, just no big deal. Brian says yes. Money profits, back to lower cases, says yes. So it seems like Mark Hoover, yes. How's that dam going, Mark? So, I mean, I think, hey, I mean, you ever seen the Hoover Dam? It's pretty incredible, human achievement.
It is.
So-
It actually is. Yes. And quite hot in the summer. Do not go there in July, guys.
Anyway, okay. Offer sent. The Titans are evaluating. I don't know why they need to. Here we go. Offer has been accepted. It is time to select another player. Who do you want now?
Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah.
That's what Danny Phantom says.
Especially
I'm on
after
board
what,
with that.
especially what after what Mike McCarthy said today in the pre-draft press conference, that they really want to add speed to this offense if they do add an offensive skill player.
Dalton
He's a
Miller
definition of
says the
speed.
need for speed. Look at that.
Jalen
Look at
Waddle
Dalton.
said-
You guys are
I said
slacking.
that. Listen, I said that because I got the quote for it.
Oh.
Oh my! I'm trying to find. I'm
I
trying to
did-
find.
I
it
did
now.
not know where I was like, are you
Yeah, you
I'm
kind
trying
of
to
struggled
find
to
it
get
now,
that out.
but
Like,
Shane
do we
said
need to
it.
call an
Shane said it, but
ambulance or something?
No. Listen, I couldn't find. I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I think he's on Periscope. So I was trying to find it on the YouTube, but he's on the Periscope comments,
Look,
and he said,
I'm
"Y'all
worried
got
about
the
you.
need?" Question mark. And I knew where he was going there.
This
He was
is
going the
it.
need.
Shane
for
Shane
speed.
Carter was asking
Thanks,
if we have
Shane.
the need.
Need for speed.
Okay, so you're all down. Anthony Schwartz, we're ready.
Yep.
On
Yeah.
EP.
All right, let's get the board back up here. Done.
There we go.
Look at that. Shane Carter, a big fan of your answer, by the way, Dalton. So good for you.
Thanks, Shane.
Joshua Parker, once again, hyping up Paris Ford. Oh no, it was my young Aristotle.
Aristotle,
Young
right?
Aristotle.
I love that guy. His
Oh,
profile
my
picture and everything. It's just
So-
hilarious.
Joshua Parker was the one who said take the general. Young Aristotle, just being specific. I couldn't agree more, Joshua. So just it is
Who
what
is
it is.
young
I
Aristotle,
love it. I
Don?
love it.
That's a bit he's had going on this entire draft process
You
because
you
I
have
said
no clue
one time-
who you have no
'cause I
clue who
said-
it is.
he's a follower of mine. He's always on Twitch with me. And,
Oh God, he's a legend.
yes, absolute legend for sure.
Okay. So
That's
while
awesome.
the
And Danny Phantom, Danny, we can't forget about my guy Noah Brown.
Hold on.
oh dude, Dalton. I mean,
And my guy Cedric Wilson.
Yeah. Sad.
you guys see, like
there will
you
be
can't
no
you,
Noah Brown slander here tonight, RJ.
you can't have a wide receiver pet cat if this is the Cowboys offense. Like you just can't. Like it's not practical at that point anymore. You can have guys you like, but the Noah Brown hive has run its course. Noah Brown is probably going to be the last member of the 2017 draft class left standing, by the way. Is he not at this point? Besides Jordan Lewis, it's him and Jordan Lewis. That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you got Taco Cheeto gone, obviously. Jordan's still around. Ryan Switzer is gone. Xavier Woods is gone. Marquez White is gone.
Marquez White.
Good times. All right, Cowboys are on the clock. We had no offers whatsoever. It is time to make a selection in the sixth round. This is the pick, by the way, we picked up from the Titans in the trade.
Let's see what our offensive line options look like.
Okay. Here's your tackles. Anybody pleased? You guys.
I'm trying to look, and I don't see. It's tough to see, but I don't see any names.
Is there any way of enlarging that, RJ?
Those are the interior. That's the interior line.
Look at us enlarging this.
Okay.
Weren't we supposed to be looking at tackle?
Well, you didn't specify. You didn't specify. I was giving you options.
I thought Connor specified. That's on me.
This is Connor's fault, ultimately.
There's a name there I like, but I'm gonna wait and see if anybody else likes him.
Landon Young?
No.
Royce Newman?
No.
Alaric Jackson. I didn't even see him.
Yeah. I like Alaric Jackson.
Hey, Dalton, you and Shane Carter, I mean, just in absolute locksteps. David Medina also agrees with you on Alaric Jackson, by the way.
What does the interior guys look like? Just curious.
All right.
Then we can look at that again.
There you go.
I like Robert Jones a little bit, too.
I like Manette, too.
Yeah.
Or Manet. I guess that's probably how you say it. But.
Yeah.
What do you think the bigger position of need is? I mean, I know you're not really too worried about that this late in the draft, but would you rather add a tackle or a guard?
To give everybody a recap, just while you guys decide on the Cowboys' overall draft haul so far. What's the biggest position of need at this point? That's a good question, Cole. Early running for tonight's MVP. Cole, you answer it first.
I think guard. If we do want to believe that Leo and Tyron are on track to be healthy, which I know is kind of iffy, I think you need to add a guard for sure. Me personally, but I don't think you go wrong either way. I think at this point you just need more bodies on that offensive line.
Connor, biggest position of need.
Edge rusher, because we haven't added one, even though DiMakeji's there.
That's right. Dalton.
One technique defensive tackle is still the biggest need.
Okay, so what do you guys want to see? I mean,
I think we look at edge and defensive tackle.
By the way, Danny says corner, safety, defensive tackle, wide receiver. I don't know how that could be true, but go ahead, Connor.
We addressed defensive tackle already.
Let's look at the edge guys.
Tuipulotu, and we're gonna look at the big fat guys now.
I love Chauncey Golson here.
That's pretty good value right here.
Yeah,
I like William Bradley King a lot too.
And again, for those watching, Dylan Moses was the pick at 115.
Yes.
We got auto drafted, so just pretend, use the art of imagination. So there is no edge rush presence yet in the draft class.
I see more value here with Chris Rumpf is an interesting name. I don't know how he fits in this scheme, but he's a guy you could throw over on the right side and just let him be a pass rusher. Chauncey Golson, Jonathan Cooper, Shaka Toney, William Bradley King, Chris Rumpf. Those are four names that Taron Jackson out of Coastal Carolina. Those are 4 or 5 names that I really like still.
But you guys want to do? You guys have to pick a player.
I would still like to look at defensive tackle.
Okay.
Aleem McNeil is not there.
I'm aware. I'm aware that he's no longer here.
Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah.
Jordan Scott.
It's your guy.
We can wait.
I say it's one of those edges.
Yeah.
All right. You're all down for edge rush. You too, Cole.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I think we're looking for a guy on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence can hold down
the mighty Dorrance Armstrong, Connor.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Brent Urban can play a little bit of that, strong side defensive end role too for you when he's not playing inside. So I think it's got to be a guy that can rush off that weak side.
I'm pretty tired of the slander that my boy Dorrance Armstrong gets. He's a good football player. He's just a backup defensive end. don't
Money
expect more
profits.
out of him.
Agrees. Or disagrees. Sorry, excuse me.
I would love
No,
I would love Chris Rumpf here.
I would love.
The architect of the greatest dam on earth agrees with you, Connor.
I would love
Joshua Parker coming in hot with Paris Ford.
I would love William Bradley King here.
I'm fine with Bradley King or Rumpf. I'm fine. I mean, I'm surprised you don't want Golson.
Those are our two options. Those are the two. So if you're watching live, we've got William Bradley King or Chris Rumpf. Who would you prefer between the two while these two guys bicker? Those are the only two options.
Tony's still there too. I think Shaka Tony's upside's good too.
Cole, what do you want to do?
So small.
I know. So rough.
I'll go with Rumpf. Actually add a real, Duke edge rusher in this draft class. I think that's what we're missing. So let's go with them.
And again, we're going back to this pre-draft press conference, but like both Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and Stephen Jones said they love when they have players that have a dad that played football, their coach's sons, and Rumpf is a coach's son. Yeah. Like they mentioned that today in that press conference. They said they asked how important it was for guys like Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn, whose dads played in the NFL. And like Jerry Jones stopped the question and was like, that is super important. Like we value that a ton when their coaches' sons, when their dads played in the league, when they have that family tied. It's important to us. So I think Chris Rumpf makes a lot of sense.
Let's see. Money Profits just wants you all to know. You mentioned Jerry Jones, Connor. Rumpf would have his own shake the Rumpf when he makes a play.
Maybe young Aristotle could write it.
Okay, Chris Rumpf is the pick. Locking it in. Boom. You satisfied, Connor?
I am. I like Chris Rumpf a lot. I mean, he's a late day 3 player because he's so small and possesses like no power, but his quickness, his first step, his bendability, he's a fluid athlete. Like he's a technician. He's just not strong. So if he can bulk up, play with more strength and more power in his frame, I think he's got a nice little, upside career in the NFL.
Green Bay's curious if you want to come up, young Aristotle, back in action, just so everybody's aware.
Is that Paris Ford?
Do you want to move up and give up
eyeballs?
Do you want to move up 13 spots and give up 238 in the process? I imagine nobody does.
I don't. Yeah, I'm ready to throw a few more darts to close it out.
All right, declined. Let's get back on it, simulator. Don't auto pick for us, please. I can't believe it auto picked for us. I mean, what can you trust in life if not for the internet?
The Pro Football Network mock draft simulator will not auto pick. Hashtag ad.
Paris Ford goes.
Just wow. Paris Ford at 218 to the New Orleans Saints. Congratulations, young Aristotle and Joshua.
It's my
Shane brings up a great point. We need
to
make sure that we get a Boise State player.
Yeah. Avery Williams, baby. Where's he at?
Yep, the
best special teams player of all time, Avery Williams.
What do you guys want?
Corner. Where's he at? See if Avery Williams is there at corner.
Let's see here.
Yeah, there he is. There you go.
Let's go.
Send them the pick.
A+ pick, baby.
You're all down.
Blocked a ton of kicks, return man.
Got our new Chris Goodwin.
Straight up.
Okay. Shane Dalton wants you to know, or Shane wants you to know that you're making him feel very special, and he appreciates it. Okay, Avery Williams, everybody's on board.
Love it. I love everything about it here.
All right, there we go. Done. Get ready because 238's coming fast. And I have a question for you all as soon as we see the board. So everybody get excited for this because a super special question is coming for each of you. Actually, not each of you, but for all of you. Although it's a bit of a sarcastic question to kind of fully set myself up properly here. There goes Robert Jones to Tennessee, by the way. Okay, so let's see here. We've got a question from Jay McWaters. Any thoughts on drafting Zeke's replacement in the 7th round?
I mean, there's a downside to adding a running back in the 7th round.
No, but I mean, like, but
I don't think they'll take him off the field. to like.
Right. I mean, I wasn't being serious with my question, to be clear. But do you want to draft? Do you want to draft a running back? Because there's a. I mean,
like how
long
on the Cowboys
can this team carry 2 running backs?
Oh, actually, that's a great question from Young Aristotle. Is Captain America still available? That would be
which one?
That would be Michigan running back Chris Evans.
There
Good
you
player.
go.
Good player. I still think if Alaric Jackson's there, that would be the pick for me this late.
I want to see what one techniques are still on the board.
Oh my god. Alaric Jackson.
He's committed.
Is Alaric Jackson on the board?
I don't know.
You guys are
RJ's
That's the question here.
RJ's left hand's broken again. So
No, it's not. We're back. Alaric Jackson's right there. Look at
We
that.
can't see it.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's the right hand.
I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry.
Right,
So,
but
hold up. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Just...
Chris Evans is on the board. Sorry, that's my bad. And Alaric Jackson is on the board. And if you wanted to see the interior defensive lineman, Dalton, here you go.
Lorenzo
Neal's bad. No, I mean, for me, it's Alaric Jackson.
Frosty Birdman agrees.
I think Alaric Jackson's the pick. They haven't addressed they haven't addressed offensive line yet. He's a tackle that can play some guard if you need him to. This late, you're just looking for a guy that maybe can come in and compete for that final spot on the offensive line chart.
We have 3 Alaric Jacksons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're all down.
Yep.
You're all down. Done. How are you feeling now?
Is that our last pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to trade back up, give up some future assets. It's up to you, Connor.
I'm good.
So
I got UDFA coming up here in a little bit. I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone with Tay Gowan. I'm on the phone with some of these one texts that Dalton won't stop bugging me about, and we're gonna offer these guys some money.
So hold up. I'm gonna pause this. Danny said to take a QB just to see what quarterback's available, because Sam Ehlinger is a name that a lot of obviously Texas fans have thrown out.
MVP, baby. MVP. Sam Ehlinger.
Shane Buechele, former Texas Longhorn, obviously. No interest. Would you rather have Sam Ehlinger than Alaric Jackson, Dalton?
No.
Okay,
we need the depth on the O line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think Alaric Jackson's got a chance to make the roster, and I think whatever quarterback you draft is probably not. So
3rd string.
Yeah. Well, if they do keep
4th
3.
string.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett
The
Gilbert
new-
and
There's a chance you
Gilbert
can add
and
one
Ben
on the
DiNucci.
practice or undrafted free agent though.
All right, let's take-
Go ahead and cross out DiMakeji and just Google paint in Dylan Moses' name.
Yeah, this was shout out to the Draft Network for auto drafting for us. This is the Dallas Cowboys draft class that these fine 3 gentlemen yielded for you. Again, you can put in Dylan Moses as the 115th overall selection. Let's go ahead and our graphics has graded this pick, but grade the draft. In fact, before we grade the draft, Connor, I want your second favorite selection, not your first, your second favorite selection, because your first has got to be Kyle Pitts.
And I already told you Fatu Melifonwu was my favorite.
It can't be him.
I love Avery Williams this late. He's a nickel corner. He's an elite special teams player. He scores on returns. He blocks kicks. I mean, I know that's kind of a cop-out. So for me, it'd be Avery Williams, because I'll give these guys a chance to pick.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for speed, so I really like Anthony Schwartz on 3, getting him that late, adding him to the wide receiver unit, kind of add another dimension to the offense. I really like Anthony Schwartz.
Dalton.
Ifeatu Melifonwu.
You want to add context, or you just want?
Not really. I mean, not really. I already kind of talked about it when we picked him. He was a high 2nd round grade for me, and so getting him at 44, I think, is a really good value here. Plus, you get a starter at cornerback, which you desperately need.
Real quick, RJ, I just want to say we picked my number 2 overall player, my number 19th overall player, my 38th overall player. Who was our 4th pick?
Chewy Peloton.
Sorry, this is horrible radio, but or podcasting, I should say. But
if anybody cares, I think he was my 66th overall player, 65th maybe.
Marlon?
Yeah.
He is.
I think people definitely care. People care about you, Dalton.
Well, they can read my draft guide.
61st overall player. So we got 2, 19, 37, 61, and then it was Moses, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was, but
84th. And then my last one that I'll give you is 114th.
So, Dalton, I don't remember off the top of my head, but a few weeks ago when you each had your own simulated mock drafts that we talked about, you went the Kyle Pitts route at 10 overall. And I feel like we did not like your class as much as we like this class. Does anybody kind of like, does that sound right in your memories? Like, because I feel like your draft was the least favorite of anybody's who watched that. Cole won that night, but
I didn't like that draft either.
Okay, so like this is we talked then. The reason it was interesting was that was the Kyle Pitts route, right? Like that's what that route could yield. If you take that, if you take the blue pill, obviously like that takes you down to one line of thought. And this is the blue pill again, and it worked out fairly well. I mean,
different simulator too, which
right,
made it a whole different set of names at different spots.
Young Aristotle, by the way, Dalton, if he had to pick between you and Paris Ford, sorry about that. So it is what it is. Okay. Everybody seems to like the grade or the draft. Overall grades are about B, A-. I'm not going to ask any of you three to grade the draft, but I am going to award an MVP tonight. You all were champions of Kyle Pitts. Nobody was against that pick or anything like that. I want to attribute the Anthony Schwartz pick to Danny Phantom, but here I'll attribute it to Cole Patterson. Really kind of the person who sold me, at least specifically. And before we award the MVP, I should say Dalton mentioned his draft guide. It is releasing. He's releasing it as soon as we're done here. So go check out Dalton's Twitter at Dalton B. Miller. Connor has a draft guide that's out already. You can go see it on his Twitter feed at Connor NFL Draft. Both these guys bust their ass all year long to make sure that you know what is up when it comes to the NFL draft. And 2 weeks in a row, Dalton, Cole, I'm sorry, I got to give this MVP to Connor. I feel like Connor, really took us home and really kind of steered things in the right direction. Connor, your thoughts on your MVP and your thoughts on the draft class as a whole. It's your boy D. White asks, where's the linebacker in the class? For what it's worth, we did draft Dylan Moses, right? So
he's at 115 if you missed it.
Maybe we can get that fixed before we post it later. I don't know. We'll try. We'll make sure it's done. But we got Dylan Moses at 115. We had a software issue or an internet issue that auto draft for us. But again, these guys are the real MVPs because all I did was just kind of agree with them. So.
Look at this guy. Look at this.
You initiated the Richie Grant trade.
I think if we're being honest,
that's true. You initiated the Richie Grant trade, Connor.
I think if we're being honest here, RJ is the real MVP because he had both hands. We taught him how to be multi-ambidextrous, if that's the word.
It's definitely
so
not.
Now RJ can do everything he could do with his right hand with his left hand.
You ever do this move? Like you make circles with your opposite index fingers in the opposite directions? It's a difficult thing on your brain.
But he just learned how to do that because he used his left hand the whole time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this was fun. We've been doing these live streams all throughout the run up the last month or so up to the draft. Maybe we'll do one next week to kind of recap things. These guys will tell you where the Cowboys were right, where they were wrong. By the way, the author of the Hoover Dam, Mark, says that young Aristotle is the MVP. Damn.
That is
I agree, Mark.
And he spelled, look how he spelled damn, by the way. Mark's making a run at the MVP here, by the way. Young Aristotle, very thankful for that. So you can hear these guys on the Talking the Draft podcast, on the Blogging the Boys podcast network every Wednesday. The name switches to Talking the Star when it's no longer draft season. These guys are that high maintenance. You can see and hear Dalton Miller at Pro Football Network on 105.3 The Fan. He's streaming on YouTube all the time, streaming on Twitch all the time, on Twitter at Dalton B. Miller, kind of a hub for all of his work. Cole Patterson, Obviously, the best person in the universe. I don't think there's any discussion up for or anything up for discussion there. You can see him at A to Z Sports Dallas. Connor Livesay at bloggingtheboys.com, firing off the take that you are going to disagree with the most on Twitter. That is kind of how he rolls. Guys, this is the last moments before we sign off before the draft. So I want your one word of wisdom. You have the chance to zoom in. We'll put your face in the Cowboys war room, and you can offer them one bit of advice. Cole, you go first.
Don't put me on the spot. Take Kyle Pitts. That's my one word. That's my one sentence of advice. Take Kyle Pitts.
Okay, that's your one bit of advice. Dalton, you're up next.
Oh, draft the best player available. Period. In the first round, draft the best player available. Figure the rest out later.
Yeah.
Okay. Connor, one word of advice. You're talking to Will McClay, to Mike, to Jerry, to Steven, the whole crew. They're listening and hanging on every single word that you're saying.
Draft Cameron Sample at some point in the draft.
That's what you wanted your one thing to be.
That is what I wanted.
You gave this
Not
guy
Harris
the MVP.
That's what I wanted.
I did.
That's what I want. Cameron Sample is the coolest player in this draft. I don't know what it is.
Connor also had an expletive almost here on tonight's stream. Another interesting moment for us. Yeah.
No, I said he thought to.
He said he thought to. Yeah, he did not.
He did.
I thought that's what you were. No, he actually didn't. I thought that's what you thought that he did, but it never really came up. But he definitely didn't.
I thought you were mad because I was giving away who we wanted to pick.
No. It sounded a lot like a different word.
I would never cuss, man. I would never cuss.
To be clear, and as we wrap up, when we started the live stream, process here, the one person I had to talk to about, like, make sure you're cool was Connor. So, I mean, you were the heavy favorite. That's all I'm saying. Okay, everybody.
You've never listened to our actual podcast, then?
Oh, I've had a lot of conversations with you, Connor.
This cat right here is always like, ugh, and I'm like, oh God. I'm like,
anyway,
expletive.
This conversation, you can rewatch the stream on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. You can check it out at bloggingtheboys.com, or you can listen to the podcast version if you want. Guys, good job. Good job. You did a great job. You're near the finish line. Dalton, Connor, congratulations on the draft guides. Looking forward to it. Dalton, congratulations on the news you announced last week. Everybody go buy their draft guide. Support these guys. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the draft. We'll see you next time. We love you all.